lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party for May the 19th, 2024. My name is Jeremy Lee, and I am happy to be back here with you and with our co-host. Let's bring him out, Mr. Joshua Madigan from the Hockey Cards Gongshow. Josh, welcome back. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. I like it. I'm awesome. Doing well. Nice weekend. Had a daddy-daughter date today, and looking forward to the show tonight, the auction. We have some nice cards coming up on the platform on the PWCC Weekly tonight. Josh, what's going on with your basketball team? What's going on with the Timberwolves tonight?
Do we have to talk about that? Here's the thing. In Minnesota, we can't have nice things. So whenever something good is supposed to happen sports-wise or about to happen, then yeah, it all goes to crap. And I'm actually never been more thankful for this show because after watching the first half, I don't think I could stomach the second half. So I'm just going to pretend like it's not happening. I'm going to enjoy some hockey cards and your company and everyone in the chat, and that'll be my therapy for tonight.
All right, I'm going to watch the score in the background. I'm hoping for you. I'm going to hope that the T-Wolves can have a better second half. Let's switch sports over to hockey. Second round of the playoffs. Only one series still going. Coming down to Game 7 tomorrow, Edmonton, Vancouver. My question for you is, does it even matter who wins this series? Will the Dallas Stars have their way with either of these teams?
I don't know. That's a great question. I'm rooting for Canada. I want to see a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup Finals. For being the country of hockey, it's been a tough road to hoe for a long time now for you guys when it comes to winning Lord Stanley's Cup. And so I'm going to root for whoever wins against Dallas, which is very easy for me to do because, of course, Dallas stole our hockey team, and we can never forgive that here.
That's a fact right there. I remember those. I remember when that was going on. I was very sad for the Minnesota North Star fans, and just to see that team leaving, that logo, that uniform. I love the colors of that old team. You know, I am hopeful that a Canadian team can get out of the West. Hopeful, but I am not sure about that. I think the Dallas Stars will be able to handle either Vancouver or Edmonton, but at this point, we'll see what happens tomorrow night. And, you know, for the hobby, I'm hoping for Edmonton. I think that's the best result for us, us being the hobby. Realistically, though, I do think Edmonton can handle Vancouver in Game 7. I think that's really going to be a bit of a flip of the coin. Both these teams have firepower. It just depends who decides to show up. We'll see what happens tomorrow, and then we can cross our fingers up here in Canada that the Oilers can get out of there. And then the same question I have there is, does it matter who wins the West? Can anybody beat Florida or the Rangers? And I don't know. Those two teams I think are so strong. If we were to say, you know, we got the final four, whether it's Edmonton or Vancouver, do you have a favorite team? Not your personal favorite, but a team that you think is most likely to win it all at this point?
I don't know. Both Eastern Conference teams look really tough right now. It's tough to bet against the Rangers. I think they've lost, 2 playoff games so far, something like that. And yeah, I don't know. I would have to go probably Rangers and then Florida. And I just think that Florida is a team that's kind of built for the playoffs, where they're sort of like the Miami Heat, right, of the NBA, where they don't care about the regular season, just get us to playoff time, and then we get all nasty and are the heels of the NHL and make life miserable for other teams.
Yeah. I don't know who can beat the Rangers. Maybe the Panthers, and that might be it. And then who can beat the Panthers out of the West, we'll see. But whether it's Dallas or whether it is Edmonton or Vancouver. I think I will definitely. I think I'm going to be. I'll be cheering for the West all the way through. I like that Dallas team. I think it's a fun team. I like their young goaltender and Jake Ottinger. So we'll see what happens. We will see. Let's say hello to Bobby. Our friend Bobby is with us. What's going on, Bobby? Good to see you. Andrew, happy Sunday to you. Yeah, your Rangers your Rangers, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they do hoist the Grail in about 3 or 4 weeks' time here. Bobby says, does Vancouver even qualify as a Canadian team with only 2 Canadian-born players and 8 American? That's a great call.
Wow.
Really, Josh, in my opinion, though, it is obviously it's a Canadian team, and it's good for the fans. It's good for the city, for the economy in British Columbia and Vancouver. So yeah, it's a Canadian team, but I hear you. I hear you, Bobby. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, Jeremy, I have a follow-up question on this.
Yeah.
If the nation of Canada had to vote the least Canadian NHL team, it would be Vancouver, right?
Yes, it would be 100%. I think that would definitely be what goes. Yeah, Bobby says Dallas looks the best. I do like Dallas. What's up, Jeff McMahon? Gary, good evening. Jacob Dahl, Todd McDonald, good evening. Well, all right. Why don't we start looking at some cards? We're 23 minutes away from extended bidding. Welcome everybody watching on X, Instagram. Welcome to the show. YouTube, of course. Josh, we've got 56 cards selected to look at tonight from the hockey offering on the PWCC platform. We're going to start with a card that I need for my collection, the 1911 C56 Joe Hall rookie card in a PSA 5 EX holder. And before we went live, we looked at this card because I said, I need this one. Josh, I don't know if I'm going to bid on it, but I need it. This is really nice for a 5. And I actually went onto Card Ladder and looked at some other cards. And Josh and Troy on the Gong Show talked about this card on one of the recent episode. And Josh is going to share some information on the player here in a moment, probably a bit of repeat if you listen to the podcast, which is okay. But I did look at Card Ladder and I saw a PSA 6 that just sold last month. And this on PWCC. And this copy, I declare, is nicer than the 6 that sold last month for $1,200. And this one is sitting at half that at 6 right now, or $720. So not quite, a bit more than half that right now. But this is a great card. It's one that's been on. I've had my eye on one of these, or at least I've been, looking for one for quite some time. I do need it for my set. Completing that set is not a super high priority for me right now, but I do need this card. And this is a beautiful copy if anyone else is looking for one. Josh, why don't you share some of your information nuggets on Joe Hall?
All right, I got a couple fun facts and then a sad fact. So the fun facts are he's a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Hall of Famer. So he won 2 Stanley Cups with the Quebec Bulldogs. And then some team called the Kenora Thistles. Were you a big Kenora Thistles fan, Jeremy?
Well, Kenora is only 2 hours away from where we used to go to Kenora every summer several times. We had family there. They had a great chip truck. You'd go get your fries with salt and vinegar. And I know vinegar on fries isn't a thing in the U.S., I don't think. It's a big thing up here. And then if you... I'm very aware of Kenora.
If you research Joe, might have been like a Brad Marchand of his time. His nickname, great nickname, Bad Joe, because he's pretty nasty out on the ice. But here's the sad thing. So, like I said, he won 3 Stanley Cups, may have had the opportunity to win a 4th. But in 1919, with the series tied 2-2, and after playing the 4th game in Vancouver, Joe Hall was with the Montreal Canadiens at the time. The series was halted because that was the 1919 pandemic, flu pandemic, Spanish flu, which, of course, we just went through our own pandemic. A couple days later, he died of the Spanish flu. So he actually died playing the Stanley Cup Finals.
How old was he when he died?
That is a great question. I want to say his 30s at the time.
Early 30s, probably, too. I'm just thinking if he was still playing hockey, pretty young. Great card, Joe Hall, formerly of the Kenora Thistles, available tonight here in a PSA 5. Again, this is a copy despite the fact that it's off-centered to the right, I would still welcome this card into my collection. And maybe I will. I am not eliminating the chance that I might bid on this card tonight. We will see. We will see. Let's keep going. We have 2 Gordie Howes. We have a 62 Parkhurst and a 62 Parkhurst. Card number 30 and card number 31. Both PSA 8 here on the number 30, PSA 7 on the 31. Again, as I always say, great opportunity for someone to come in and grab a couple for their Gordie Howe player run, base set run. This is a nice card right here. Very nice card. A little off center to the left, but well within near mint to mint grading standards. Good color. I think the registration might be off just a hair. Seeing a little bit of a shadow coming off the back of his jersey here, but a great copy overall. And the 7 here, also from 1962. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, this looks good too. Good corners, good edges. The centering, I'd say, is almost perfect. I don't know if we have a slight registration issue. Actually, I think I do see it. You can see some darkening. Oh, let me get back here. You can see this darkening over his shoulders. To me, I think that might be, but I'd have to look at some other copies to be certain. You have a fisheye right over there, which is, you can see it, but not too bad overall. Nice copy. 145 on number 31, 320 on number 30. Josh, any thoughts on the creativity of having 2 Gordie Howe cards against a puck, one against a white background, one against the yellow background back in 1962?
Do you have any idea why there's 2 cards? That I actually spent time trying to figure it out and I couldn't.
I'd almost have to go back and watch that episode of the Gong Show where you had that guy on that did the Parkhurst masterclass and see if he said anything about that, because I don't remember what he might have said in that masterclass episode, but he might have mentioned something about that. Which
one do you like better? Just based on design.
The yellow, 100%, no, without a doubt. I just like that blast of color. I think is really nice. Gary says, even though the Panthers eliminated the Bruins again, I could never root for a New York team. That's fair. Jeff McMahon, the loss of Brock Besser in Vancouver is going to hurt that team. I didn't even know he was lost. So yeah, that is definitely going to hurt them. Jake Dahl says, who is the popular Canadian team? It's the Leafs and the Habs. Toronto and Montreal have fans all across the country. They always have. I would say third is probably the Oilers after those two. What's up, Craig? Welcome to the show. Of course, Bobby didn't take it as anything but that. And Bobby tells us that Joe Hall was 37 years old when he died. Thank you for checking. That Warrior Kid is back in the chat. Welcome back, Warrior. Good to see you again. And Cards AH, what's going on, pal? Good to see you. Guys, if you are bidding on anything in the auction, please use the affiliate code. I just put it into the chat. It is also pinned on YouTube to the top of the YouTube chat, so you can grab it there, copy and paste it, or just click it if you need to. And please make your bids from there. Greatly appreciate it. SCL will earn a small commission from that action, and it does not cost you anything extra. Josh, next up, similar to the Gordie Howe up here, we have a Jacques Plante, PSA 6.5. Cool looking card right there. We have a 1968 O-Pee-Chee Bernie Parent rookie in a BGS, I guess, 4.5. We'll take a look at this one, Josh. You can notice the centering. This is very typical for the issue. Bernie Parent's rookie card in like a PSA 8 is basically the PSA 9 of any other set, because it's so hard to find these cards centered and without tilt. Even this one, as off-center as it is low down on the cardboard, it also has some clockwise tilt going on. As you can see, the border on the left gets thinner and thinner as you move your way to the right. Outside of that, though, nice edges, nice corners, great color, not seeing any surface or print defects. So a nice copy overall right there. And then finally, a SGC 8 Topps Wayne Gretzky rookie card. And this looks really nice to me. I'm already thinking, why is this only an 8? And I'm going to zoom in to see. I see a little fray coming up off the top left corner, top right corner, maybe a touch of white. Wonderful color, Great registration from what I can tell here. Bottom corners look good. Edges look good. I don't know. I'm unless there's something on the back or, of course, something on the surface scratch we can't see, Josh. This card looks to be an 8 at least. Did PWCC give it eye appeal? They did not. So maybe there's something there that we're not seeing. From what I'm seeing, I would certainly give it my eye appeal assessment, but I don't have an official eye appeal assessment to give it, and I can't see the card in hand, so I wouldn't do that anyway. But Josh, your thoughts on this row?
It is crazy how off-centered the 1968 OPG cards are. Very unique card, too. I was trying to think when I was looking at that Perrant if there's even any other design that's similar to this and kind of a unicorn sort of design for that. I'm not even sure I like it, but it's just so different, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I agree with you. The Gretzky, from just an eye appeal on screen perspective, looks super nice.
It really does. It really does. Bobby's asking if there's a fisheye on the black in the crowd. I think he's talking about the Gretzky. Maybe he's talking about this little thing right here, which I don't. Maybe that doesn't look like a fisheye to me. I don't know what that is. It might just be there. It might be. I also noticed this that I don't know that I've noticed this before. Well, I don't know what this is. I'd almost want to look on some other copies to see if it's there, but I must admit, this is something that my eye's never been drawn to before if there's other copies, but I did notice it. So something to be aware of as well. All right, let's keep on rolling. We got a really nice PSA 9 Mark Messier rookie card, 1980 O-Pee-Chee. Let's have a look at that one. Slight off center to the left. Blazing corners and edges, though. Something going on in the lower left corner here, in this area here. I don't know what this black line is. I don't know if that's an eyelash from if that's a grader's eyelash, or if that's a mark on the card, or if it's something on the slab. I do not know what that is, but it's something to definitely consider when bidding on this card. Otherwise, a very nice copy of the Messier. We got one of my favorites, the 85 O-Pee-Chee box bottom. I mean, I'm more partial to the Mario from this year because it's his rookie, but here's the Gretzky. It's the O-Pee-Chee version. These did come in Topps versions as well. And you can tell you can definitely tell this one is hand cut, which most of these are, from the top. Look at right. You come across here and then it kind of dips down. It takes a bit of a turn here. The cut did, but the side borders look good. The bottom looks good. Overall, not a bad cutting job, but definitely, and it's only authentic, I think, because the whoever cut this out of the box bottom originally didn't leave any evidence that it was a box bottom. The yellow borders, we know, make it a box bottom, but PSA likes to see either a little bit of the perforation marks or a little bit of the white that would have been around the yellow from the actual rest of the box to remain. I think that's why I say PSA. I imagine Beckett handles it the same way. Perhaps that's why it's only authentic, but not completely certain on that. And then this, I was looking at these earlier, guys, and Mario Lemieux rookie card, Topps PSA 9. I don't know why they're so cheap, unless there's just thousands of them. Josh, do you happen to have, or can you check the pop on it for us? And if you look at this card, for whatever reason, it just looks so good to me. Like sometimes when I look at an O-Pee-Chee Lemieux rookie and you come up the right side of the edge, where you come up the right side of the card, your eyes go up and you get to here where the border disappears. There's no border here because the Penguin logo is there. And sometimes I feel like the card is curling inwards a little bit. And it's happened to me when I look at dozens of O-Pee-Chee Lemieux rookies. I don't get that effect when I look at the Topps card. This looks like a perfect rectangle to me, perfect 90-degree angles. This is a great copy. I'm curious why it's not a 10. Again, there could be something we are not seeing from a two-dimensional image on a screen, but that's a very nice copy in my mind. And curious what the population is, Josh.
1,123.
So it's a big number. It's a big number. I know in tens, it's under 100, isn't it?
79.
79 top PSA 10s and just over 1,000 9s. And then 8s are probably what, 2,000 plus? And I'm guessing.
Yeah, 2,645.
Yeah, that all kind of follows the pattern, I would say, of grading distribution. I think this is a really strong copy. I noticed PWCC did not give an eye appeal rating. It's another instance where this card looks perfect to me. So I don't know what I'm missing, but I think this is a great buy for somebody who's looking for a Lemieux rookie and is happy to make their Lemieux rookie be a tops, and a mint 9 for $650 for $780 now out the door. Seems like a good deal to me, Josh. What are your thoughts on that and the other two cards?
Will you zoom in again over his right shoulder, but our left? If you zoom in, there's a scratch, and it might be, is that a holder? It might be the, you see right?
I see
sort
it.
Of arcing.
It starts right here, and it comes across right into about here. Yeah, see, I didn't see that before when I was looking at it. I did not notice that. If that is
could
on
very
the
well
card,
be the holder.
What's that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that could be on the holder as well.
It could be on the card too. It could be on the card. It's not that serious. It's not that deep into the card. Now I can't not notice it. I'm surprised I didn't see it before. If that's on the card, I understand the grade a lot better. If that's on the card, maybe the grade could have been even lower. Maybe it's an 8.5 sort of thing. It's an 8 because of the technical deduction for that scratch, but it's so nice. Otherwise, we'll give that half grade bump to 8.5. I don't know what that's on, but good call out. Thank you for noticing. And any thoughts on the Gretzky or the Messier?
I just have a general Messier question for you. Now, this is kind of a half-baked thought, but I've been thinking about it for a while. I just don't know if I can articulate it very smooth. Is he maybe the hardest player to identify with one team? It's like Wayne Gretzky will always be identified with where the guy that you could legitimately make the case is a legend that belongs to two teams.
Yeah, maybe he is. I'd have to go over a list of players who have played lots for two different teams. In this case, he might be. You could. Yeah, even like Gordie Howe played for a couple different teams, in different leagues, but he's a legend. He's a Detroit Red Wings legend, where Mark Messier is a legend with the Oilers. He's a legend with the Rangers. That's an interesting topic for some sort of segment on the Gong Show, maybe down the road, Josh.
He has like dual citizenship for the Oilers and the Rangers.
Yeah, he's a dual legend status. He dated Madonna. Triple legend status. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing to talk about. And now I can feel my brain trying to run through players who were really good with more than one team. Patrick Waugh comes to mind. He might be another one. I know, it's a goalie, but he's another one that might fit that bill if you're willing to extend it back to between the pipes. What did you think about the hand cut Gretzky here, though, Josh? And the way it kind of the top border takes a turn down. Is that some people might actually like that. They might say, listen, it's hand cut. These are box bottoms. I want it to look natural. What are your thoughts?
I view this card as a personal test as to how big of a grading snob you are, because on one, I think most people agree it's an awesome card. The eye appeal on this one is off the charts. It's just not gonna, be in the premier auction anytime soon because of the fact it was hand cut. But yeah, I think if you don't want to spend, I don't even know what these get up to, but I'm sure at like a 9 or 10 grade, it would be 5 figures, something like that, and it'd be pretty cheap comparatively.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And you said it depends. You used the term grading snob. Would it be appropriate to say condition snob, or did you actually mean grading snob?
It's just like and I'm throwing myself under the bus here too. So this is not me pointing the finger at anyone. It's more of like, would you consider this a top piece of your collection just because it doesn't have maybe the high grade, or maybe it is more about the condition? Maybe you're right in that the top edge is a little like, somebody had a couple Molson Ices before they cut it or something like that,
Yeah, no, fair comments. Fun card to talk about. Let's keep on rolling though. We have a couple cards from 89 O-Pee-Chee. We have the Joe Sakic rookie. Now, this is a PSA 9. It's not a very valuable card. But I selected it tonight because it's another one. This is the third time now where I'm looking at this card. I think this is really a nice looking card. The centering, I think it's close to perfect, both vertically and horizontally. It might be situated a little bit to the left. Nope, a little bit that way, a little bit that way, but just a hair, top to bottom, really nice. Other than that, the top right corner, I guess the top right corner does. There's some white showing there, so that's going to be the issue. That's the issue right there. So yeah, it's a 9. I think it's a very nice copy, and this is the card where if you're holding it at arm's length without wearing magnifying glasses on your eyes, this card's going to look pretty 10ish to me. So I don't think PWCC gives out eye appeal assessments for cards post 1980 something. And that's why this one went. But this one, otherwise, I think is a really nice 9 to me. And then we have Patrick Waugh's base card, the O-Pee-Chee, number 17 in a PSA 10. And that's kind of cool because Patrick Waugh is worthy of people doing the Patrick Waugh base run from 86 forward, or even just 86 to 89 or 86 to 90 is a fun little era, pre-junk wax, even though this is sort of in the junk wax era. There's lots of these. Population on this card, I'm curious, Josh. I'll check. Unless you have it handy, I'm going to run it through the PSA.
No, I don't have it handy.
Okay, I got it coming right away. I'm curious because, again, only a certain amount of people can have it's 195, a little bit higher than I was expecting. 195 PSA 10s. Pretty cool card. And then we've got the Jaromir Jagr Score Canadian version in a PSA 10. And the difference, for anyone who isn't sure, the difference between the Score Canadian and the Score American version, or the French and English version, is the color of the Score logo at the top right of the card here. This is red. The red ones are always Canadian or the French, the bilingual version, and the blue is the US version or the English only version. So a nice copy right there, $49 if you'd like to get a youthful Jaromir Jagr card here. Josh, anything stick out to you on these?
Yeah, okay, zoom in on the Sakic super quick. I want to have a contest about this card. Would this not be the greatest caption contest card of what was Joe thinking in this photo?
Yeah. Get me out of here.
Yeah, something like, can I go to Denver now, please? So that's my comment there. Obviously, iconic card. Now, the 12-year-old in me, the Patrick Waugh, would love to have that card because in 1989, I was 12. And so I remember I would be opening tops here in Minnesota. But yeah, to get a PSA 10, and you say too, what did you say the PSA 10 pop count was? 195?
Yeah.
Now, of course, we look at that it's not less than 100, which seems to be some sort of barometer that we use for 80s cards. But when you look at Trilogy comes out, and for every player, there's an out of $9.99, out of $7.99, out of $6.99, out of $4. There's 900 different parallels. So to think that this was his only card, and honestly, I don't think 195 is that many.
When you say it that way, it isn't. The problem is that the print run was 2 million. So you add up your Trilogy print runs, and you're not sniffing the total print run here. And what that also means is that there are so many ungraded PSA 10s still sitting in vending cases waiting to be opened and submitted. So that 195, although it may not go up very fast, the potential is there, I think. That's and again, I'm not saying this to quash what you're saying, because there are only 195 PSA 10s of this card right now. I'd like to see the timeline, the curve on how fast that's gone up over the past 10 or so years. What was it 10 years ago? What was it 5 years ago? Yeah. But you're right. And it's not a card that's really worth grading anymore unless you're going to get a 10. Because if this is a 9, it's probably worth $15.
Yeah. Less than that, probably.
Maybe. Yeah. All right, let's keep on rolling here. Extended bidding, guys, starts right now. So we're going to start seeing, here we go. The clock just started, 30 minutes in the first window. And as you know, if a card does not get a bid during the first 30 minutes of extended bidding, it will end for the price it is at. So we will see what happens. All right, we're moving now into the 90s. And here we've got 3 cards, 2 Gretzky's and a Steve Yzerman. We'll start off on the left here with the 95 Bowman's Best Refractor, Gretzky, BGS 8.5. Pretty cool card. A rare St. Louis Wayne Gretzky card. We don't see a ton of these in the hobby. I do love this design. The Bowman's Best logo is very nice. Refractor, of course. I love how you can just see all the 9. The 99 there, the 9 on the back of the jersey. I even like that you can see his name on the back of the jersey. That's something that we don't always get to see on cards. It is the refractor. Surface is the weakness at 7.5. Everything else is 9 or better. Corners coming in at a 9.5. So consider that. But I think this is a pretty cool card. You know, it's not a card that's you're gonna. I don't think it's a card that I would look at as like a major investment piece. It's a nice 90s St. Louis Blues Gretzky card for your Gretzky collection. Something to enjoy having. And then we've got on the other bookend here, the 97 Pacific Crown Royal Blades of Steel Wayne Gretzky. This is a die cut card. This is a PSA 9. I really love this card, guys, and I own this card. I have a PSA 10 copy of this in my personal collection, and I've had lots of 90s Gretzkys in my collection over the last 7 or 8 years, let's say. And every so often I will go through them and I pare down my collection. I'm like, do I still love these cards as much? This one has gotten through every time I've done that. I still own it and I don't see myself moving it. I like its die cut. This black background makes it harder to see, but it is in the shape of a skate, which you don't see very often. There's even holes here where between the skate blade and the boot itself, you got a big hole, die cut hole here, a die cut hole here. And look at this. It's hard to see, but it actually looks like metal. It's not. It's just silver, but it looks like metal. It's a fun card, one that I have in my collection that I enjoy owning. And then in the middle is the 95 Topps Finest Refractor with coating, Steve Yzerman. It's raw. It's authenticated by MBA authentication, and it's a cool card. Again, it has the coating. When you're ever buying a refractor with coating, the important thing is because again, there's some people who there's the coating people and the remove the coating people. You either like it on or you like it off. If you like it on, I think it's key to make sure that the words here, it says Topps Finest Protector, peel and remove coating. They wanted to peel and remove it. It's important to me that these words are not on the player's face, and the lesser of it that's on their body overall, the better. This one is really strong in that way. There's nothing on his face, nothing on his upper body, nothing on his stick or gloves. You get a little bit, you get it on his right leg. That's it. A great specimen of a refractor with peel on still. So I like all 3 of these cards, actually. Josh, what do you like the best here?
I'm a huge fan of the Bowman's Best Refractors. Love them. Not so much a fan of St. Louis Turtleneck Gretzky, but that's okay. The Pacific die cut is an awesome card. And I was thinking, you may remember this, but I was in just my first year of college at the time, but that had to be a pretty wild card at the time. That I don't know if just the level of die cut in a card. And then
Josh, I have to interrupt you for a second. I don't know if you're prepared for this, but the Minnesota Timberwolves in the third quarter have gone on a 28-14 run and are now winning the game 77-75. The Minnesota Timberwolves, after the first half they have, are now winning that game, Josh. So smile, buddy. Come on. Don't get your hopes up too much. Be careful, but they are now winning the game with 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Jeremy, I'm from Minnesota. We have no hope. So can't get anything up. And then on the Yzerman, here's the thing that I find fascinating about these refractors with coating, that when you grade with the coating on, the surface grade is basically the condition of the coating, which I think is super weird. And because it's like, well, that's supposed to get beat up, so the card doesn't, right? I mean, that's the purpose of it. But yet, and I suppose, like, from the grading company's perspective, it's like we have to grade something, and maybe they just didn't want to give the surface a perfect grade by default, but then you can maybe make the argument it should get it because it's got the protective stuff on it. Come on.
Well, Josh, I think it's like a jambalaya that doesn't have corners. Beckett still awards a corner grade for them, and they're always 10s. They're invisible. The corners are invisible.
Yeah.
They always get a 10. I think I agree with you. I mean, the coating was meant to come off. I'm a peel off guy in my collection.
Sure.
I don't want the peel there. It was meant to come off. It makes the card look bad, in my opinion. Take the coating off. Let the refractor shine like it's meant to. Let it shine. I'm sure there's a song lyric in there I could sing to get to really pound that point home. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Got a quick announcement, everybody. Everybody, Rage has joined the chat. Everybody, Rage is in the building. Welcome to the show. Rage, Hobby Champs, 40 cards. You're in on 40 cards tonight, winning 2. He bid heavily. Thought the hobby was dying. The hobby is far from dying. Well, good luck. Good luck, Hobby Champs. Let us know at the end how you do with your purchases. 80-75 for the Timberwolves now in the fourth quarter. Josh, that is crazy. All right, next row. 2002 SP Game Use Authentic Fabrics Wayne Gretzky jersey card numbered out of 225. 2-color piece, BGS 8.5. Kind of cool seeing these old numbered jersey cards. Like 0203, I don't know, was that the first year that they numbered a jersey card, like machine stamp numbered a jersey card? I don't know. It seems early to me. I like the card. I like the white at the top. You got the silverish gray at the bottom here. Just a nice old Gretzky jersey available tonight. $54 as we sit right now. The Beehive Crosby rookie in an SGC 10 sitting at $84. And then we've got the Ovechkin Young Gun PSA 10 at $3,400, which is just over $4,000 out the door. And I don't have much else to say about these cards. I will just say I know Josh loves these portrait style cards. So Josh, why don't you give us your opinion on the Crosby and anything you might have to say about the Gretzky too?
The Beehive is weird. I just think those are weird cards, but that's my opinion. I'm glad they're not made anymore. Can you check the Gretzky and see if that patch is game used?
Yeah, it'll be I'm almost certain it will be game used, but let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and have a read on the back of the card itself. And it says on the front, worn by, official NHL game, worn by Wayne Gretzky. Nowadays, it just says the authentic card, the authentic memorabilia is, like Panini. I was looking at some today. This authentic memorabilia is not related to anything. But it says it's authentic memorabilia. Well, I mean, this is authentic memorabilia. What is authentic memorabilia? Define that, please. And I love that it says worn by Gretzky in an official NHL game. So these are the good days of describing what they were, Josh, back then.
Okay, this is when I hate that I'm doing the show, because I'm just going to say it and it ruin my chances at this, but I don't think they're making any more Gretzky game used jerseys, and this is $54.
Yeah.
And he's the greatest hockey player of all time.
Yeah.
It's this is like a no-brainer for $54.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say there. I'm kind of with you. I think it's a great card. I love what it says on the back of the card. I think as the years go by, there's going to be more and more emphasis put on what was said on the back of these cards, because they've just gotten, as the years go by, the card companies know less and less about what they are actually dealing with, or they just don't want to let us know what they're actually putting in the card. So I like these old days. Myself as well. Rage says, I believe 0102 was the first machine stamped hockey jersey cards, as the first jersey cards altogether in 98. Game jerseys, we all know today, were hand numbered. The first jersey cards all were 96, weren't they, Rage? Aren't they 96s? I think I should know. I have them. Yeah, they're 96s, the first ones. But maybe that's what you mean, because I think you probably know that too. I don't think I'm wrong about that, but you never know. Let's keep on going. Panini Prism Gold, Jonathan Tavares, BGS 9.5 out of 10, only 10 copies. I feel like we've seen this card not too long ago, and I love these 2012 Prisms. I love the Prism Golds, and this Jonathan Tavares. I mean, unfortunately, we talked earlier about how Mark Messier is known to be a legend with two teams, the Oilers and the Rangers. Will Jonathan Tavares be remembered as a legend for the Islanders and the Maple Leafs? No, I don't think he will be. Maybe one of them, but right now, neither really. But still a really cool card. And people collect this set. I think they're awesome. And you can tell this is $130 right now. It could go higher from there as well. Josh, I'm just going to go to you on the Prism.
Well, Prism Golds are crazy cards. And here's my thought on Tavares. Do you think if he could go back in time that he would have signed like a $8.5 million a year agreement, that he would have taken less money to, because would anyone really care if he made $8.5 million a year at this point? You know, it's the money that it's what he's paid, commensurate to what he produces. That is a real problem for the Maple Leafs. It's a real problem because they don't have any money to pay other good. They have 4 good players that take up some like 65% or something like that, ridiculous 68% of their salary cap. And, you know, it's put a lot of scrutiny on him. And I think that it's really harmed his reputation, both within fandom and the hobby. And we can really point to the fact that it's not that he's been a bad player. He just, when you make 11 or 11.5 million a year, whatever he makes, you got to be producing 120 points.
You definitely do. You definitely do. And, you know, he is the captain of the team. So they're, you know, he's adding intangibles there. He's a leader on the team. And I don't know what's wrong with that team. I just don't know. I mean, outside of, you know, they don't really have good goaltending. Their defense is porous. They have firepower. They're just inconsistent, and they're missing defense and goaltending. But I think that's addressable. In any event, it's a cool card. We have a 2015 honorable numbers Nathan MacKinnon from the Cup. What I like about this is that both those patches do look to be 3-color. Yes, they are. We've got the silver, the blue, and the white. If there was some of the maroon or the magenta, whatever we're calling that color there, if there was some of that in there, it would be even better. But only 29 copies. This is 24.29. The autograph is amazing. And so it is raw. Keep in mind, it is in raw. It's not even in an NBA top loader, which surprises me. I thought usually every raw card gets NBA'd on PWCC. This is a 3rd year McKinnon card, but we know that because it's not a rookie year, these are going to be game used pieces of memorabilia, which I love. I do prefer that to a rookie year honorable numbers, which is not game used. To me, this is a better card. But even 2014, if he had one, would even be better because it's older by a year. I really like this one. And then we got the 2015 Black Diamond, pure black, Connor McDavid out of 25 rookie. Not a true official rookie, but good enough for me as a rookie. To me, parallels of rookies are rookies. And this is a pretty cool piece, $360. It's a BGS Pop 1, 10 graded higher, BGS 8. That's probably what's keeping the price down to only $360 right now. But kind of a cool card. Maybe not aesthetically the nicest because it's hard to see, as you can see here. It's got the foil and the blacked out kind of darkening of the player. So kind of cool, but also kind of like, what is this? What is this card? You know, what are we looking at here? What do you think, Josh? I kind of did a 180 on that card mid speech. What do you think of it?
Have you ever seen one of these in hand?
Yes.
Are they better?
Not really.
Yeah, I look at this card and think, when is somebody going to turn the lights on?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really ugly in my head. It's terrible to. Now, I give Upper Deck a lot of credit. I think 98 times out of 100 they knock the designs out of the park, but this is a miss in my opinion.
I'm not gonna argue with you there. It's despite all that, it is a Connor McDavid rookie year card out of 25. So that right there is pretty cool. The weakness is corners. Corners are coming in at 7.5. So note that for yourselves. All right, we've got a quad auto here from Leaf Signature Series featuring Eddie Jackaman, Jerry Cheevers, Grant Fuhr, and Johnny Bauer, numbered out of 25. It's a PSA 9. The autos are also graded a 9. Let's open this up. It's just, it's cool. If you are not offended by, or to put it in a more positive way, if you are happily accepting sticker autos into your collection, this card features autographs of four. I like the name of this. Forever. This is called Forever. I just noticed this, Josh. Forever Legends. FOUR ever legends. And these guys are all legends, at least, if Jackman maybe not completely, but at least with the Rangers, he's a legend. Cheever's legend, Bauer legend, Grant Fuhr legend. So kind of a cool card right there. Let's go to the other bookend here is the Vasilevsky Young Gun buyback. It's a 2014 card, bought back the next year, 2015. The Upper Deck issued 88 of these. This is 61 of 88. The autograph is right there. Card and autograph both are graded out a 9. I have to see why. The autograph's a 9. Tough to know why the autograph is only a 9. I don't see anything wrong with it, but anyway, there we go. There's the Vasilevsky. Hey, it's his Young Gun autograph. Kind of cool. Pop 6, 5 graded higher. And in the middle is you could actually pair this with the McKinnon. They're from the same year. This is from 2015. Yep. The McDavid. That's a really nice pairing of two of, if not the two best players in the game right now. And Makar might have something to say to McKinnon on that, but nonetheless, here's the McDavid out of 97. Both patches are one color, orange. Very nice. $5,000, you guys, for this card. Let's open this one up for a second, and let's see what the back says about what are we working with here for memorabilia. And let's have a look. Certified to us as having been used in a rookie photo shoot. So not game used. He put the jersey on for whatever, anywhere from 10 seconds to 10 minutes, took it off, and they cut it up. So this is a 2-color patch on the left. Actually, there is some blue right there. The 7 is all orange. So keep that in mind. You are getting a 2-color, 1-color. You are not getting game used memorabilia in this. Unlike the McKinnon, where you are getting game used memorabilia from a card from the same set. So something to keep in mind. Josh, your thoughts on this row, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I am generally not a fan of Leaf, but I think this is a great execution of an unlicensed card. The goalie for whatever it's called on the Leaf there. Forever. Really cool. The autos look nice, even though they're stickers. And so I look at something like this, and if you're a goalie fan and goalie collector, to get a card, 4 different cards with each of these guys' autographs is going to cost way more than this card. And even though it's not licensed, because of how they've incorporated the images of the players, you couldn't tell anyways. And so this is just this is what every Leaf card should have, an execution like this. And I think they would do so much better versus having the full kind of weird blank jersey card, which I just can't ever get past that.
I agree. Yeah, great comments on incorporating the image there. I would have said that myself. So really, I appreciate that. Any thoughts on the McDavid or the Vasilevsky?
Yeah, I have some thoughts on I'll start with the Vasilevsky. I love this card. I think it's a very cool card if you're a Vasilevsky collector. This is where maybe grading the auto hurts. I don't understand how autos are graded anyways. If I have this card, I'm cracking that because I think that auto grade hurts the value of it in this case, and I just don't get it. I don't see how that. I'm not going to argue with the grade, of course, but there's nothing that I think a novice collector would look at and say that auto is not a good quality autograph. And then maybe right there, but that's real nitpicky, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Slight fade in this region right here of the final pen stroke, but whatever, it's nothing. I don't know. I've seen worse autos get 10s. And let's face it, once they start to fade because people put them out on display, those autograph grades become moot anyway. So yeah, I'm with you.
The McDavid just feels really cheap to me. I know it's technically 2-color, but effectively 1-color. It's just a very high-end RPA by the brand. I know, if it had amazing patches, it would be a different story. But I think to counterbalance that, though, I look at the PSA 9 grade auto 10. That's a tough grade for this card. And so it has every single thing going for it, except maybe the diversity of color and the patches. And given what these cards can go for, I think it's a value play right now at what, basically $6,000 with buyer's premium.
Yeah, yeah. For a rookie year RPA, just despite that it's not game used, men, but that's what we
But
get
none
in
of them
rookie
are.
years. So,
So
hmm?
yeah, hardly any of them are. And then that's sort of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
trade-off with RPAs.
Exactly. So I don't want to be too critical because that's what's available. So let's do this row and then we'll go to some comments here. We have a Gretzky Upper Deck Team Canada Master Collection booklet auto out of 25. Let's open this one up just to see what we're dealing with here. This is the booklet. It is opened up here in the image. Not my favorite execution on a design. I don't love the I don't know what is he just paled out the monochrome image of him here against this sunburst kind of graphic. The autograph is great. What I also don't like, I like this side of the card, but I wish this writing was like on the back. It's too much detail in there for my eye. I think it takes away from the overall look of the card having these 3 lines of text here squished under into the bottom third of the card. But aside from that, it's still it's a Gretzky auto, and it would look nice on display, a nice talking piece. And then we have a couple of McDavid Young Guns, a PSA 10 and a PSA 9. Always fun to see what these are coming in at. But Josh, what were your thoughts on this Gretzky?
Yeah, I think it's a tough design. The auto is beautiful, so it is going that for it. But you know what the design reminds me of? Like a small company in the 90s where like the president found out that Gina, the office manager, took an art class in college and had her design the brochure for the company. I mean,
Oh,
it just
not
looks
Gina
like,
again.
yeah, Gina, she's back.
Gina.
It's just really kind of a ugly design, but a beautiful auto and kind of cool that he's in, the Team Canada gear too. And then it's interesting on the McDavids to see that we just did a bunch of research for the show. The values have actually gone down quite a bit on this card for some reason I don't really understand. He's got 2 goals this postseason and 19 assists. He's become the assist machine over the last few months, and I don't know if that's factored into it, but I think it had been selling in the $2,200 range as of late. And so a little bit of a bounce back here tonight in the weekly for the PSA 10.
I wonder if some of that, what you've been noticing there, is because a lot of money's been rerouted to Connor Bedard from Connor McDavid over the past couple of months, and that I think there is something to be said for that. Let's go to some comments now, guys. See, where do we leave off here? First of all, it is now 92-82 for the Timberwolves with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game, Josh. So
Stop.
92
We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose by 30.
What was that?
We're gonna lose by 30. Don't worry.
92-83 now. It looks like Denver must have just hit a free throw. So 2 minutes, 5 seconds left. 92-83 for the Timberwolves. Okay, back to comments here. CC says, good evening. Tavares and Legend mentioned in the same sentence does not seem correct. I agree with that. Hobby Champ said, how much does a Gretzky gamer go for? I don't know that we've seen one in a while. I just don't follow that market, but a lot. He goes on to say, I can't believe how little real game used goes for. Game worn jerseys of the greats are too expensive to cut up now. Exactly. Like Josh said earlier, I don't know if we're ever going to see one of those again, acquired by Upper Deck and cut up. You never know. Maybe we will, but I don't know. Steve Martin says, I like those Canada Cup jerseys, and it's a nice large auto at least. Yeah, the jersey's great. Like, to Steve's comment here, the image here is amazing. Like, it's a beautiful image of Wayne Gretzky, especially for Canadian fans. And the auto is great. Everything else I'm just not up about, really. Hobby Champ says there's something about cards featuring Gretzky in the old Team Canada jerseys. Yes, and Webo2 says Gretzky signed the outside of the booklet too by mistake. 2 autos for the price of 1. Let's go in and have a look at that. Bill bringing some data here, some information.
Oh yeah, he did.
This. Look at this. He signed it there as well. Oh, isn't that cool? That makes this pretty special, guys. That I can now get over everything that I didn't love about this card because he signed it twice. That is really cool. How often have we seen 2 Gretzky autos on one card? We've seen it with Crosby a few times. We might have seen it with Gretzky once in an SP Authentic set. sign of the times type of thing. But thank you, Bill, for that call out. Appreciate that. Really cool. Hey, Josh.
That is awesome.
All right, continuing along, we got a Mikko Rantanen Young Gun PSA 10 sitting at 140 right now. And then we have two really nice, I love both these cards. First of all, look at the patches. It's basically the same patch in each card, right? Just, well, it's almost the same patch in each card. There's no orange in the middle of the white here as there is up over here, but a similar patch, 3 colors. The beautiful thing about both these cards, guys, game used. Neither of these are rookie cards. Perfect. I love that. You got the second year exquisite endorsement. Card is numbered out of 25 on card auto. This is a great card, guys. And then you have a third year SP Authentic limited auto materials. I love these. This is out of 10. Game used. The grade is like, I don't really care about the grade, but it is a BGS 8. I love both these cards. I love limited auto material. They used to call them limited auto patches. Now they call them limited auto materials. Don't know why they had to change that. I'm sure there's a legal reason for it, because otherwise, why would you mess with the good thing? Or because they started incorporating other things beside patches, like socks, like whatever, Gretzky's equipment bag, that kind of thing. So I get that. I get it that from that perspective for sure. I love both these cards. And if you like McDavid, you're looking for auto patches, and you are not against buying cards of his that are not rookie year, and you like having game use memorabilia in your cards, these are two great candidates right here tonight, guys. Right here tonight. Josh, am I right or am I right?
You're right. I think too. I am such a big fan of the SP Authentic limited, whatever they're calling it, card. Now, in my mind, this is and throughout the years and player by player, this is just an elite card. I think that it's, there's of course a few cup RPAs you'd put ahead of it, but not many patch auto cards would I rank above this one.
Yeah, same here. I love these limited auto patches, limited auto materials. There's usually a large checklist in these every year in SP Authentic, and the common guys are out of 100. Then you'll get some short printed, some SPs to 25, and then you'll get SSPs from 10. And of course, McDavid and Gretzky and the bigger names are always going to be SSP'd to 10. So really cool. Steve Martin says, double your max bid on the double auto Gretzky. And the professor has just come over from Instagram to YouTube. Professor, welcome to YouTube. Nice to see you as always, sir. All right. Next row, a couple more McDavids. We'll start off with a 2019 Splendor auto patch out of 36 PSA 9. We'll open that one up and take a look. And we'll follow it up with, I think this is a one and done insert set in the cup called Trilaterals. And this is numbered out of 3. There are some parallels of it. Let's start with the Splendor. Here it is. Autograph is great. He does get a little streaky in some of his longer stroke here, the big round circle here, or whatever. It's just the swoop, but a nice 3-color patch, a nice auto still. Card grades out of 9, and it's Splendor. Splendor's a nice brand. And then we got the Cup Trilaterals. They're calling it Jerseys Black here. That is definitely patch, which is, what you want. These cards haven't had really any love that I've seen. Brett says, love the Trilaterals. Beautiful cards. Yeah, I saw a Bork at the Edmonton Expo, and I was like thinking about it. And then it's funny, I'm thinking about the card, maybe Matt Chang had it. He was set up next to me. I was thinking maybe I'll try and pick it up if he has it at the end of the show. End of the show comes. My buddy Sal comes over to my booth. He said, hey, I picked up these cards. He shows me the Bork Trilaterals. Oh, you got it. Good for you. And this guy's always got good taste in cards. So I was happy he got it. But this is a really nice card. 2 pictures of McDavid on the front. Nice 3-color patch. There is orange there, and it's enough. Like, I'd like more, of course, but there's enough that this is a 3-color patch. Nice low print run of 3. Great autograph. I love this card. What's it sitting at right now? $11.50. So you got the Trilaterals right now at $11.50 out of 3, which is lower than both of these. The exquisite and the limited auto materials are both selling for more at $13.75 and $11.75. And it's sold for $13.80. Wow. I think that's a steal. I think that's a bit of a steal right now, Josh, for a cup auto patch of McDavid out of 3. I think that's a great deal. Really great deal.
I do too.
And then we have a Cale Makar Ultimate Collection Accents autograph out of 99 on card and a PSA 9 holder. Pretty nice card right there. Josh, your thoughts on these three, and then I think we'll kind of whip through everything else and then see what's sold.
Yeah, I have one comment on the Splendor. Well, actually, two comments on the Splendor, if you wouldn't mind drilling down into that one again. I really like when they have pieces of the jersey that have the holes in it.
Me too.
I don't know. I just think that that's kind of a neat. It just adds like a different feature to the patch that makes it interesting. And then I don't know if you've ever noticed this too, Jeremy, but Upper Deck has a tendency to do players dirty with bad hockey mouth in certain images, and they did not. I mean, come on, poor Connor.
I didn't even notice that, and now I can't unsee
every
it.
card you see for the rest of your life. You're gonna look at. You know who has like the worst hockey mouth on almost every card is Cole Caulfield. It's tragic.
Too bad. So sad for Cole and his collectors. Something I'm now going to probably notice more than I'd like to, Josh. So thank you for that. I just got to say, we have more people watching us right now on Twitter or X than we do on YouTube. So welcome to everybody on Twitter. Thank you for tuning in. And if you'd like to make comments that we can incorporate into the show, I would encourage you to come over to YouTube. You can make comments there. We can answer questions and just banter back and forth. Okay, next row. These have all been sold. We had an Adam Fox Young Gun PSA 10 did $86. Jack Hughes Young Gun PSA 10 $300. If I recall, Josh, I think these were down in the 220, 240s. Not too far back. So maybe there's a little bit of a bounce back on the Jack Hughes. And a McDavid Ultimate Laureates auto patch BGS 9 sold for $900. Josh, if there's anything you want to say about these ones that have sold, just cut me off. I'll run through them.
Okay.
We got the Dylan Cousins Upper Deck Clear Cut 03 Exquisite Tribute from 2020, sold for $117. And I can't believe this is only $8. Nathan McKinnon Synergy True Base out of 21 sells for $8.40. Had we been down here when I would have bid on that one for sure. Josh, I just see a comment from Hobby Champs. You're good, man. Your Timberwolves are good. 98-90 final. Congratulations on them moving forward in the playoffs. Congratulations.
This is a joke. It's not funny. It's not nice to lie. No, I know. Yeah, my phone has been like literally blowing up, and
no joke.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, congratulations to you and Timberwolves fans. That is pretty awesome, right? So cool. What's up, Phil? Good to see you. Happy Sunday to the Loud Collector. There's only one Loud Collector, and that is our friend Phil from Ottawa. Okay, we have a Jake Ottinger Young Gun PSA 10. I mean, this guy could easily win the Stanley Cup this year, and if he does, I wouldn't be surprised if this, whatever this ends up at $85 right now, is 2.5 times if he does win the Stanley Cup, and I think he's a great young goaltender. Jason Robertson also contending for the Cup this year at 110 for his Young Gun PSA 10. Stützle 64 for his PSA 10 Young Gun. Probably taking a dip right now in the off season.
Yeah,
for him, maybe a good time to be buying some of the top tier Young Guns from some of the lower tier teams, if you will. And the Kaprizov Young Gun PSA 10 sells for $186. Josh, anything you'd like to say about any of these cards I just ran through, or your Minnesota Timberwolves?
Well, I'm in shock with the Timberwolves. You're right on the off season becomes buying season for a lot of these players. And then we talked a little bit about this on tomorrow's Gong Show about J-Rob a little bit. And he's seeing his hobby momentum is missing in action right now and has really been gone all year. It's kind of puzzling, I guess, in some regards. Like you look at even this postseason, it's not like he's not playing awesome, but he's about a point per game, and his values just keep going down. And you just don't hear a lot about him, given he's still pretty young and he's produced some really good seasons. He's on an excellent team, so it's a little bit of a head scratcher there as to why he doesn't have more hobby momentum right now. But yeah, I mean,
Josh, I think it's because he didn't really do much this past season that was better than the season before. And that, to keep on going up in value, I feel like you just need to constantly outperform yourself, or else the hobby's attention will go to the players who are performing really well relative to what we'd seen before. The the breakout players, and of course the biggest rookies. I think it just comes down to that. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 4-year-old young gun now, or a 3.5-year-old young gun. So maybe it's got a bit to do that. But if he wins the Stanley Cup, if he has a great year last year, if he outperforms last year, if he scores 10 more goals, you'll see a bounce back. So there's room for that for sure, I believe. And we saw now that the Stützle sells for $77. We had a McDavid Planet Metal Gold PSA 9 sells for a measly $20. A McDavid Clear Cut exclusive auto came out in 2021, sells for $1,020. I think that's pretty healthy right there. And a Connor Bedard Upper Deck Team Canada High Gloss out of 25 sells for is still alive at just got a bit to 270. Seems extremely low to me for a Bedard High Gloss, even though it's a pre-rookie. Still seems really low that it's an Upper Deck officially licensed Connor Bedard High Gloss out of 25. I mean, that seems really low to me. It just does. Does it feel low to you, Josh?
A year ago, yeah, but there's the amount of variety now available on the secondary markets for Bedard has, that was part of it. There just wasn't much that you could go after, and now there's just tons and tons of cards out there, and there's going to be more. We're 40% or something like that through the 2023-24 releases. So yeah, I don't know. Would you mind zooming in quick on the McDavid auto?
I'd be happy to. I wouldn't mind at all.
I love these clear cut cards, but one thing that it holds me back a little bit on that is it's such a tough surface to have a really strong, bold auto signature on, that a lot of them tend to be like this, where they're just a little more faded. And I think it's 100% the acetate surface on the card. It's like Upper Deck needs to find a better marker for these cards.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not really a fan of the autographs on the acetate. Nor am I on autographs on Topps does a great job with all their autograph. The Bowmans and the Topps rookie cards. All that everyone prospects on. But yeah, I'm with you. This could be executed a little bit better, perhaps with a higher quality Sharpie. All right. Another Bedard High Gloss PSA 7 sold for $186. Jeremy Swayman Young Gun SGC 10, no longer in the playoffs, sells for $67. And a Connor Bedard Outburst Rookie PSA 8 sells for $780. 3 more Bedard Young Guns here. We got the Clear Cut, $1,000 current bid on the 9, still alive. BGS 9 does $372, and a BGS 9.5 does $690. 3 more here. A BGS 9.5 does $552, and a 10 does $1,080, while the 9 does $444. And I believe there's 2 more cards. A buyback. No, not a buyback. This is actually an in-person auto of Austin Matthews with an inscription that says 2016 number 1 pick. Sells for, or still alive. I'm sorry, still alive at $725. This is actually really cool. This to me is, buybacks are great because they're pack pulled, you know they're authentic. This, even though PSA authenticates an autograph, I'm not convinced that I'm not convinced that autograph authentication is a perfect science. I don't think it is. I think there's some good forgers out there. That said, if this is in fact an authentic autograph, which PSA says it is, I like this better than a buyback because look how nice this is. The nice inscription.
No, the inscription's nice, but zoom in the card, because I was fascinated with this card, and the card is in rough shape.
Okay, but let's look at the autographs for a second. I just want to focus on the autos for a second. 2016 number 1 pick. I love that. The autograph is nice and thick, even though you can't see where it's over his blue gloves and that. But I see some edge issue right there, as Josh had mentioned. You come down. Yeah, the bottom right corner seems, the corners are rounded. This is a card that somebody took in their pocket. Yeah, this card is in rough shape. This card's probably like a 5. It's probably like a PSA 5 for condition, if that, because they're going to be really harsh on it. But this card isn't about the condition. I don't think, Josh. I think this card is about the autograph and the inscription. I think that's where the value's going to come from. And what's it? $775? For a pretty beat up Austin Matthews Young Gun, that's a pretty healthy price, I think. So, but I hear what you're saying. The card is beat up. So consider that, everybody.
To your point, though, when you have these really popular players that have autos in every set, and now Matthews has played 8 years or something like that now. And I feel the same way about like other guys like McDavid and Gretzky and all these guys that have just tons and tons of autos. You start to as a collector, want to see some sort of differentiation, and that inscription, I think, provides that, and provides something, gives this card a very unique element.
100% agree with that for sure. Hobby Champs, yes, no, it is not pack pulled. Well, the card was pack pulled, but not with the auto on it. No, that is an IP auto for certain. Brett S says Upper Deck needed to use the color coded markers for the acetate cards. We're talking about this one right here, and I think that was a great suggestion. Brett Warrior Kid, congratulations on adding another 80s Gretzky to the collection. Very cool. Ali says, seems like Bedard clear cut PSA 9 should be around 1,000 to 1,100. And where did it say? Yeah, 1,200 is what it sold for. So you're very close on that, Ali. Final as a final sale price on that one. Okay, and we have a Gretzky auto. This is like I believe this is a custom card with a real auto in it, sold for $312. So Josh, I'm going to scroll all the way back to the top now, and let's see what's sold, and then we'll resort. We'll run through this. The Joe Hall that I did not buy tonight sold for $840. The Gordie Howe, the two from 1962, $396 and $174. Jacques Plante, $126. Bernie Parent, $94. Excuse me. Messier, PSA 9, $1,050. That seems like not a bad price, actually. The Gretzky box bottom, $103, and the Lemieux PSA 9 Topps rookie does $810. I think these are just selling for too cheap. Just what I think. The Sakic sells for $31. The Patrick Waugh does $105, and the Yager does $59. $77 on the Gretzky St. Louis Blues turtleneck card, Josh's favorite. The Yzerman refractor does $44. The Crosby Beehive, another Josh Madigan favorite, sells for $101. And the Ovechkin Young Gun PSA 10 does $4,080. McKinnon, third year honorable numbers, game used, does $720. And the very dark McDavid rookie from Black Diamond sells for $432. The Forever Legends Leaf goaltenders card does $91, cheap for 4 Legend autos. I don't think the Leaf could buy them that cheap. The McDavid rookie year honorable numbers auto patch does $6,000, and the Vasilevsky buyback Young Gun $252. The Gretzky dual auto does $630, $3,000 on a McDavid PSA 10 Young Gun, $870 on a 9. The Mikko Rantanen PSA 10 $168. No longer contending for the Stanley Cup. And then the 2 awesome McDavid auto patches, we get $1410 for the Exquisite and $1650 on the SP Authentic Limited Auto. The Splendor does $1110, and as we saw, the Trilaterals $1380. The Makar Rookie Year Auto does $432, and we're back to the beginning. So I believe we're back to where we were. So let's go all the way back to the top, Josh. We've got just under a minute left in this level. Let's see how many cards are left to be sold that we were following this evening. We've got the Gretzky Topps SGC 8. We got the Gretzky Blades of Steel die cut. The Gretzky game used jersey is still going to Veras, Bedard, Austin Matthews, and that's it. We're down to 6 cards, guys, and we have half a minute. Looks like they're all going to go to the next window. The 2 Gretzkys on either end here need bids, though, in the next 25 seconds, or they will be sold, and we'll be down to 4 cards. We're getting bids on the Bedard high gloss coming in fast and furious. We're up to 380 there, 350 on Tavares, 8.25 on the in-person autograph of Austin Matthews. Another bid just came in on the Bedard high gloss. A bit of someone's chipping away at someone else's high bid, perhaps. We're at 135 on the game used Gretzky, 160 on the Blades of Steel PSA 9. And let's see what just happened. So the Blades of Steel, sorry, the Gretzky jersey is sold for 162. Is Josh Madigan the new owner of that card?
No, I tapped out at like 120. I forgot, actually. So
that's a way to tap out. Sorry, do you feel, are you upset at all? Disappointed that you forgot? Or are you okay?
I don't know. I mean, there's 225 of them, so I think I'm actually gonna hunt for this card because I kind of like it, and I really do like the Pacific die cut. It is a little wild to me that it's gonna sell for more than a card with a piece of Gretzky's game used jersey in it, though.
Yeah, that might, I think that comes down to the fact to me. I think that comes down to, and you're right, this is where the hobby might be a little bit backwards, but maybe not. But there's just lots of jersey cards out there. There's only one Blades of Steel die cut that looks like this. And maybe that's got something to do with it. Also, people, there's a whole movement that's been going on for several years now towards like 90s inserts. And that's what this is, where this is a jersey card from the 2000s. There's not much of a rush on those. So, but I think there's opportunity, like you've spotted on a card like this with a 2-color piece, numbered, game used. Like that, it is pretty cool in my opinion too. The Gretzky Topps SGC 8 sells for $3,000. So that's, when you compare,
a very strong price.
It seems like it. And compare it to the Lemieux PSA 9 that sells for under $1,000. I mean, it's two different players, but
these have been selling in the low twos lately. So for this to go for 3,000, now during the pandemic, there's a couple SGC 8s that sold for a lot. So it's not a record sale by any stretch, but based on the last 6 months of this card, this is a very strong sale, and it makes sense because the card looks super nice.
Yeah, that's just it. It's such a nice copy of the card that nice copies do deserve premiums. And when we see them receive premiums, that's when sometimes I want to like slap the hobby, and sometimes it's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I want to, pat you on your head or your shoulder and say, good job, Grasshopper, sort of thing, because it's so much better for sure. Okay, so what's going on down here now? We have just under 2.5 minutes left in this next 5-minute extended bidding window. We've got we only have 4 cards left alive for us. So let's refresh and push those other 2 down to the bottom. We're left with the Blades of Steel, the Tavares 2012 Prism Gold out of 10. The Bedard High Gloss is up to 400 now. And the Austin Matthews in-person auto on a Young Gun with the inscription. So that's sitting at $825 now. Kinjo says, how about that hat trick for Brady Tkachuk today? That must have been is that a Spengler Cup sort of what is even going on? What tournament is going on right now? Is that the Spengler? I'm not sure.
No, it's the World Championships.
The World Championships. Okay, the World Championships. Right.
No, okay. Can we talk about that for like 30 seconds? Is the IIHF the stupidest organization on the planet? Why would you have the World Championships during the Stanley Cup playoffs when nobody will care? It's
even
crazy.
Some of us don't even know about it. Like I saw players were playing in it, but I don't care either. Yeah,
like, it's wild.
It is. It is interesting. Who knows why they do it that way, but they do. But Brady Tkachuk with a hat trick. That's pretty cool. David G picked up the 62 Jacques Plante. David, we're talking about this card right here. $126. Congratulations. We looked at it earlier, and I thought it looked good for the grade. I mean, it's a 6.5. I don't know what's really wrong with it. It does have some toning on the outer edges, but I kind of like that. I don't mind it. Surface is great from what I can see. Well, congratulations, David G. Nice pickup right there for sure. All right, where are we at here? Under 30 seconds. Matthews just got another bid up to $925. That's going to go to the next 5-minute bidding window. The Bedard High Gloss is also going to go to the next bidding window. But in the next 15 seconds, these 2 cards need a bid, or they will sell for these current prices plus the buyer's premium, which would put the Tavares at $420 and the Gretzky Blades of Steel at $192. So here we go. Final opportunity. Looks like, unless the bids got in really at the last second, and they did not, those 2 have now sold. We are left with 2 cards we are watching. The Gretzky Blades of Steel does $192 for the PSA 9. I'm happy to hear that because I own it in a 10, and I thought the 10 was worth about that. So What's that worth now? I don't know. I'm not selling it, so it doesn't really matter. But nice to see. And the Tavares Prism Gold sells for $420, which I think is probably about right. It feels maybe a little bit low, but just because these gold prisms are such awesome cards. And Tavares, he's not upper tier hobby star, but he's still a star. So, Josh, anything to add to any of that stuff?
Yeah, it's just maybe a little bit of poor timing, just coming off another disappointing playoffs where his stock is a little bit, and the typical Toronto finger pointing game is going on, of course, right now. And so, he's been a guy that, maybe like in October that would have sold for a little bit more, I guess is what I'm saying then.
Yeah, fair comments for sure. Okay, well, now look at this. Matthews, last I looked, I think I saw 9.25. Now it's up to 1075. 1075 on the Matthews, 400 on the Bedard High Gloss. 3.5 minutes left to go. And we have this 5-minute extended bidding window. Then there's one more. Then we're into the 1-minute bidding windows. So we'll see how long we can go. I do need to cut this episode off at the top of the hour for sure. I would really like to do that. We have a long weekend. I got stuff going on tomorrow. But Josh, listen, we might even be able to just sort of end it sooner than that and let these two end on their own. So what I'll do with that in mind is I'll say to you, Josh, and the chat, I'm happy to stick around for 10 more minutes. Talk to you guys. You want to make any comment, you have any thoughts, any opinions, share them in the chat. You have any questions that you think Josh and I can answer, we'll be happy to. And look at that, a bid just came in on the Bedard High Gloss. Both cards going to the next window now. 430 on the High Gloss and 1,075 on the Matthews. But again, back to you guys out there in the chat. If you'd like to make any comments, post any questions, we'll stick around here for another minute or two and see if anything comes in. If it doesn't, then we wish you a happy Sunday, and we'll get on with our evenings and call this one a show and an evening. Josh, does that all sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds good. I have a question for you, Jeremy.
Yes.
So I'm just poking around Card Ladder, trying to look at Austin Matthews Young Guns that have autos. There are a number that have sold with a little bit of a different inscription. So this one in the PWCC Weekly is 2016 #1 pick. He signed a few of these as well with the 2017 Calder inscription. If you had the choice to have either inscription, which one would you choose?
Oh man, those are both awesome. Really, I think I'm going #1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going. What about you? Hold on. No, I think I'm going Calder. You know why? Because getting picked #1 overall, it's cool, but it doesn't mean that you are gonna succeed. It just doesn't. You got a great chance, but it doesn't mean it. We've seen tons of busts. But if you are the #1 pick and you win the Calder Trophy, or you just win the Calder Trophy, it pretty much means that you met expectations and in some case exceeded them. I think that's maybe something to be proud of. And I think the player would maybe even be more proud of that, winning the Calder. Because now it's one thing to be highly touted, but it's another thing to perform in the NHL against grown men.
I agree with you, but there's one little issue I have with the 2017 Calder inscription is I did get a little tripped up given that the card is a 2016 card, but the inscription says 2017.
Yeah,
that might just be me.
Well, it is. It's and you know why, obviously, because our hockey season straddles 2 years. Obviously, it makes sense. He won it in 2017 for the 16-17 year. I can get past that. Yeah. A really cool question actually came in from Jacob Dahl. He says, I have a question on the C55s. Are there any to be found autographed with authentic autographs? I don't know, Jacob. I've never seen one ever. I can't remember ever laying eyes on a C55 or a C56 or a C57, any of those tobacco era hockey cards with an autograph on them. Never seen it. So, Josh, have you?
No.
Ali says, do your thing, guys. We appreciate you and Josh doing the stream in the first place. Thanks, Ali. Really appreciate that comment. Thank you so much. David G says, I have a 1936 O-Pee-Chee signed card. Never seen a C55. And that's 25 years later. So,
Yeah.
And I haven't seen many 36 O-Pee-Chee cards signed. Never mind one that's 25 years older than it. But thanks for piping in with that, David, and congrats on your win again on the Plant tonight. And Hobby Champ says, that Austin Matthews in-person auto sale is crazy to me. I wouldn't pay $100 not knowing it would get over 1,000 given the condition. Crazy sale. It's at $1,250. Now it's at $1,325. It's not about the condition of the card. Just like, but then again, this is a modern card. This isn't a vintage card where the vintage autograph collectors don't really care about the condition of the card. They want it to be presentable. They want to have eye appeal. They don't care if it's got rounded corners as long as the image is there. And this is not one of those. So it's actually, I'm with Hobby Champs here. I don't think it's like super crazy, but I wouldn't have expected it to be here at $1,450, which is actually like $1,750 or so. So yeah. David G says PSA has authenticated one autograph C55 card of Riley Hearn. So there you go. There's only ever that answers Jacob's question exactly. There's only ever been one. And thank you to David for researching that data for us. That's really cool.
Do you have any idea when autographs became a thing?
Early. Yeah, like
if I was a kid in the 1910s, would I have wanted my favorite hockey player to sign something?
I don't know. I don't know. But when I say early, I'm thinking like the 50s, but it could have been the 30s and 40s too, because we do see autograph cards of autograph Gaudies from the 30s and stuff. So yeah. Warrior Kid just won, right? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Just one. $1,450 now on the Austin Matthews, $430 on the Bedard. But Josh, I think I'm willing to let this one go, and we will just have to tune in later ourselves, everybody, to see what these cards, these last two, end up selling for. But I want to thank everybody for joining the show tonight, and congratulations on your wins. We know David won a card. Hobby Champs, before we go, I want to hear from you. You were in on 40 cards tonight, two you were still on. Did you win any tonight, Hobby Champs? Let us know as fast as you can, if you don't mind. I'm curious. He says, later, fellas, maybe you'll let us know if you did win one first. But thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us tonight. As always, we still have more people watching us on X right now, Josh, than we do on YouTube, which is
crazy.
Yeah, over 40 people watching on X right now. So thank you to everyone there. Hopefully you guys finding some cards as well. Hobby Champs won 2 cards tonight. They weren't hockey, but you did win 2. Congratulations on the 2 wins, Hobby Champs. I don't know if you ever, I follow you on X. I don't know if you ever post your pickups there, but I'd love to see them, what you ended up winning. If not now, maybe when you receive them in hand, if you do have them delivered. In any event, thank you everybody for tuning in. It's Sunday night. Have a great week ahead. Long weekend. Is it a long weekend down there, Josh?
No,
it is up here. Tomorrow's a holiday up here. So,
what holiday?
Victoria Day for, I guess, Queen Victoria, who's no longer around. Yeah, exactly. Curmudgeon here. Good to see you, Curmudgeon. Thanks for being here. Cheers to you. Thank you, Brett S. and everybody else as well, guys. I will be back. Actually, no show next Saturday because I will be no Sports Cards Live or PWCC Hockey next weekend because I will be in Montreal. I will actually be flying home when we would be doing this show. I'm going there for the Sport Card Expo, the Montreal version. And Josh, the Gong Show has an episode coming out late tonight, early tomorrow morning, I believe, Josh. Yep, he confirms. He confirms. Go Oilers, says Warrior Kid. Yep, let's see the Oilers do it. That'd be good for the hobby. Guys, we have 26 seconds left on this Austin Matthews, but it is going to the next window anyway. We're not going to stick it up for the next. Actually, it's we're now into the 1 minute windows, Josh. I don't know if I can tear myself away. I am wrapping up the show, saying goodbye to everybody. I don't know if I can tear myself away. Maybe we have to sit through one more minute.
One more minute, Jeremy.
We're going to go one more minute, guys. You got to stay till the bitter end to know when these shows actually end. Okay. This one is updating. We're in the red zone here. As you can see, we're in the red zone on both the Bedard and the Matthews. 1450. Let's see if it gets a bid, we're going to end the show. If it doesn't get a bid, the cards will end, and we will know about that. Fraser Mulholland is not going to let us finish with Go Oilers. She says, "Go Canucks." Good luck to you, Fraser, and all the Canucks fans out there. I wouldn't be terribly disappointed if the Canucks win either. I'm not a fan of either, so let's see that happen. Good luck to you, Fraser. Thank you, Jeff McMahon. I appreciate that. Gary, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Hobby Time's got to get my bid in on the Matthews. Yes, you do. After you, I think it was you that said you weren't crazy about it. So you're not going to bid on the Matthews. 10 seconds left, guys, on the Matthews. The Bedard did get a bid. Let's see if it's done at 14.50 here. Final seconds are dwindling down. One more to go. And that card has been sold for $1,740. Meanwhile, the Bedard High Gloss continues on. Good luck to everybody. Just kidding, Hobby Champs. I knew it. All right, guys. Thanks again for being here. Have a great week ahead. We'll see you when we're back 2 Sundays from now for another episode of PWCC Hockey with myself and Josh Madigan of the Gong Show. Josh, I'll let you say goodbye, and we're done.
Another great show. Had a lot of fun. Thanks for all the contribution in the chat. And if you're in Canada, enjoy your day off tomorrow. That sounds like fun.
It's not a day off for us parents whose kids aren't going to school. Yeah. So it's,
harder in some ways.
Exactly. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening and a great week ahead. And if you're at the Montreal Expo, come by and say hello to me. And with that, this episode of the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction and Watch Party